think I recently did the viperade pocket pouch, but I wanted to redo it because I've been using this over the last week, and my opinions have kind of changed in about a month or 2-3 weeks. Um, this isn't my full EDC, but this is a big part of what I usually carry on a daily basis. Is these three items right here. There is more that goes into my EDC, but this is the foundation of what I actually use on a daily basis outside of a phone and a watch, car keys. This flashlight I've had for years and years and years. This is the Streamlight ProTac 2 LX, and this thing has seen a ton of use, obviously, and this thing is a tank. This one is programmable. You can cycle through different modes. This thing has 3 different modes, but it can you can customize it to the presets that come with the flashlight. So the way that works is you soft tap 10 times really quick, and on the last one you hold it, and that kind of saves the function. So like 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, and turns off. And then so before it was just on high medium or low high, and then so now we just have high strobe. I don't really use the strobe because I don't use this as a tactical flashlight. I use this as my everyday. And then you have your constant bright. But I usually just leave it on low and high, and that's how I usually have it set up. But the one I just switched it to is just constant high. I think this, when I bought it, when I think it's only 600 and something lumens maybe on the high mode. But the thing I love about this flashlight is it's kind of like a spotlight. It has a ton of throw. Like I can see this flashlight on high, like across the street. I can like see treetops with this thing. It's insane. I work in like warehouse style work. I stock shelves, unload trucks, deal with freight, that kind of stuff. So this comes in handy a lot, especially when I'm working in connexes or trailers. And having a lot of throw, being able to see like the back of a trailer or like between 3 or 4 pallets. This thing's a beast when it comes to that. And then like I say, it's like literally bomb proof. Like look at this thing, and it still just runs like a pro. But yeah, I mean, maybe someday I'll upgrade and get the USB rechargeable. But for this, I used to vape, so I have a ton of 18650s. So I just switched to an 18650 flashlight when I stopped vaping, and I landed on this one, and I've loved it ever since. Aside from that, I usually also have my Leatherman Wave. Before this, I used to carry the rebar, but the rebar is now my backup. You can see a ton of reviews for these online. As you can see, like this thing, the knife and the pliers and the screwdrivers are what I use the most. The only thing I'll say that I dislike about this real quick is that the pivot, I've had this thing for like 2 years and the pivot still hasn't broken in. I like my pliers a little easier to open and close, but that's a small gripe. But yeah, locking tools, the interchangeable bits, great, great multi-tool. One thing I did see on YouTube that I've taken advantage of is I watched a video on hidden features that like aren't openly advertised, but your Leatherman Wave does come with a lanyard built into it. But I also have an aftermarket pocket clip. The only thing I don't like about this is like this little narrow piece here for the deep carry does snag the pocket because it thins out a little bit. But that's what the lanyard's for. And then, you know, you always need a pocket knife. Whether it's opening boxes, opening plastic clamshells, opening a bag of chips. A knife's always good to have. Yeah, and this is one of my favorites. It's not a great knife. It's not the best knife. The steel on it is super sharp. I sharpen it a lot, but the shape, the weight, and the ergonomics of it, I really do love this knife. The whatever they call their locking system is really nice, really smooth. But yeah, the only other thing like I've noticed with this knife was for some odd reason I had this thing stabbed into something and I was wrenching down on it and I did get the lock to fail, but I don't think there's going to be a lot of situations where you're going to be in that situation where you would have to pry this way on a knife, but that is something that did happen and it's only happened once. So I don't know if the back lock is the best if you ever find yourself in a situation where you have to do something like that. But yeah, so this is the SOG Flash 2. A lot of people, if you look up this knife, especially on YouTube or anywhere, they'll say this is a horrible knife just because of the super soft steel. But I don't know. Even with the super soft steel, I still really love this knife. That's just personal opinion. You don't have to like it. But yeah, I really like that knife. But these three items alone is pretty hefty. Like it's pretty chunky. I usually carry this stuff with like cargo pants or carpenter pants, and it's pretty hefty. I guess I should have got this stuff set up while before I start recording. But yeah, so we'll add the flashlight. That's 4 ounces. We add, or the Leatherman alone, almost 9 ounces. The SOG, 3 ounces. So these two are about the same. This does feel a lot lighter, but I think that's just how it's balanced out. But all together, we're carrying about £1 pound worth of gear on these 3 items. And like I said, this is not my full EDC. This is just the main 3 things that I make sure I have on me on a daily basis to help me out with work and stuff around the house. But yeah, at £1 pound, that's pretty gnarly. So to get more functionality, I mean, I don't know about more functionality, but to get like something about the same functionality in a lighter setup, and in just like an easier to carry form factor, I've been trying this out for the last week. I know, like, I've had this viperade for like a couple years now, a year maybe. And I kept like rolling away from it and coming back, and like flip-flopping. Like sometimes I love it, sometimes I don't like it, but in this configuration I've been really enjoying it this last week. And you know, we have the Olight i3T in brass. Simple flashlight. I don't know the lumens on it, but it's pretty bright. You got low, high, soft taps. I just wish it had a memory function between the two, but can't complain. We also have a little pry bar and a box cutter. And then, so that negated like carrying an actual pocket knife. Between this and my work box knife that they give us, it's been, this has been good enough for everything else I've ever needed. Opening packages, cutting open boxes, stuff like that. And then I just put that in one of these little molly webbings up front. And then from there, I have this little crescent adjustable wrench, and that's been just as good as the pliers on the Leatherman for light duty use that you'd ever need. And then I couple that with the little multi screwdriver. It's got like 6 or 7 different bits that also comes with it, flatheads, Phillips, and some other ones. But yeah, so these 3 items, I feel like I'm getting just as much utility as I do out of that. And then if you don't want to spend $100, you might be getting close. I think I paid like 10 to 15 for that. That was, the pry bar was a gift. I think I paid 20 for the crescent, and then I think I paid like $6 for that. And I think these run for about $20. I'm not sure if it still comes in brass. But on top of that, I do like tactile notebook and a pen. I used to carry like somewhat nicer pens. Like I used to get like $20 like micro brand pens off of Amazon, but I always end up losing them. And I was tired of spending $20 to $30 on a nice pen, so I just went back to Zebra. And these ones have the gel inserts. This is the G301 instead of the F301. And I really enjoy Zebra pens. Like, the only thing, you got to be careful about playing with the button, because if you do that too much, these are just friction fitted and they'll fly out if you're a pen fidgeter. I don't know if it's this, I don't think it's this specific one, but these came in a 2-pack, and I did run over one of these with a forklift, and it did survive. It was a little dented up and dimpled, but it works, and it's still just fine. I couple that with a Write in the Rain notepad. I do love me some notes and taking like actual notes, so good combo. This just goes in the little sleeve on top. And then on top of that, I do wear glasses, so I do carry a microfiber cloth, and then I have a bunch of my bitch stickers in random sizes in the pouch here. And then to get it in and out of the pocket easier, what I did was I just made this little paracord loop up top to yank it in and out of the pocket. And I've been super impressed with this over the last week, because I've been switching back to normal jeans this last week instead of like wearing cargo pants and work pants. And it feels lighter, but we're gonna see how it fares compared to the pound of gear in just those 3 items. So we're clocking in at 10 ounces compared to a pound. In these 3 items we are getting a pound, and then here we are getting 10 ounces. About 11 ounces in all this. And we have the like I said, we got a screwdriver, we got a box cutter, we got a pry bar, we got a wrench, we got a flashlight, notepad, pen, band-aids, and a microfiber cloth in 11 ounces. That is insane. So this definitely does make it a lot easier to carry in both weight and functionality of just like I said, putting this in and out of the pocket with the handle, and then having just like cutting that much weight, and then having everything in one central location. I mean, like, this has been great this last week carrying this thing. Like I said, this is the viperade. This is not sponsored. This is all stuff I bought on my own and collected on my own over the years. Um, but yeah, like I said, I was just trying out a new form factor with this pouch, and yeah, over carrying it this last week, I've really fallen in love with this. I still love this. Like this is amazing compared. Like, these are two different ballparks. Obviously the knife is too, but just in functionality and weight, I mean, this just has been so much more convenient to carry than my full EDC kit that I usually carry on a daily basis. And I feel like I'm getting a little more out of it, especially with having the notebook, pen, and the other two items alone. Adding those just like four things has been tremendous. But yeah, so that's what I wanted to talk about today, was kind of like an EDC update, since I am switching things up and trying new things. Like I said, I've been carrying this, well, I've been saying a week, but for about 3 days, and I've really fallen in love with this setup specifically. This has been really cool. And then next week, hopefully, I know I did the unboxing, my initial thoughts on this guy, the Ozark Trail 12-in-1 multi-tool. And so maybe next week we'll see what kind of functionality you get between $100 and 15 to 20. I don't know the price of this. This was literally just a gift from a family member, like a late Christmas gift. And yeah, we're gonna see how the Ozark Trail stacks up to $100 Leatherman. Because like I said, this is my usual everyday in and out of the pocket. I know it's not that beat up, not used, but I do daily carry this thing, and I do use it almost on a daily basis. I love this for a multi-tool, but we're gonna swap that out and add this here. This does feel like substantially lighter. So let's see how they stack up side by side. I already forgot what it was. So we got 9 ounces for the Wave, and we got 6.2 for the Ozark Trail. Yeah, it is substantially lighter. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. I guess we'll find out. The one thing that, like I said, that really kind of worries me the most is not so much the tools, but these rivets. Rather than having a fastener, because once these rivets wear out, this thing's pretty much toast. It's done for. Like, same thing with the spring for the tools. Like, once that's gone, that's gone. And like, I know these have a spring in them too, but at least they have locking tools. So even if the spring wears out, the little retention spring that holds your tools together, if that wears out, you still have the locking mechanism to hold the tools open. But like I said, once these retention springs cut out, the only safeguard you have is closing this, and then this will just be floppy on the outside. So that's the thing. I like, longevity wise, these the riveted hinges kind of give me pause. But besides that, I mean, the tools aren't super quality, but I don't see anything in the tools aside from the blades that really don't scream, I'm gonna break first time use. The one thing I did notice was I looked these over after making the video last week, and I did notice there was a lot of pitting, a lot of bubbles, and a lot of gnarred up spaces on the jaws of the pliers, and that's brand new out of box. Like I haven't used this thing. Like I've just opened and closed it like 10-20 times since I got it. But the pitting on the tool itself is kind of worrying too. So like I don't know about that. Because I'm guessing if there's like bubbles in the casting, that would make it a little weaker. I know people don't like the spring-loaded pliers because the spring wears out, but I mean that's easy. You just grab pliers and yank the spring out if you ever ruin them, and then you have manual pliers. Or if you don't like the spring is exposed. Like I said, just grab it with some pliers and yank them out. But when I'm using these like a wrench, I really do like the spring-loaded pliers. But again, that's that's my opinion on the thing. Like I know that's not everyone's deal, but I do prefer. I mean, I don't know if I'd say prefer, but I do like the spring-loaded because these aren't spring-loaded, and I still love these amazing multi-tool. But yeah, like I said, I'll carry these for a week. We'll do an update video eventually down the road, but I will carry this and come back and talk about them at some point. And yeah, so like I said like 10 minutes ago, I just wanted to do an update on what I've been carrying and how I've been carrying it. And yeah, if you want one of these, it's on Amazon, viperade. I think it was about $20. Little nylon pouch, little partition sleeve. I like it. So far, like I said, like I tend to flip-flop on it, and I think that's just me being lazy, like to pull the whole thing out to get to one tool. Some days, like I just don't want to deal with that. But overall, this week I am loving this thing. Like this thing has been amazing. I think it's been easier than carrying over a pound of gear and then also having it in one central location. But alright, man, with that being said, I will see you guys hopefully next week. I was sick these last couple weeks, so like I missed a couple uploads. But yeah, we're going to stay back on top of this. We're going to just keep rolling with this YouTube thing. And yeah, we're going to talk about more gear, more of the stuff I have. And yeah. But yeah, no, if like... Also, I like electronics. Like, if you want to talk about electronics, and have some reviews on some of the electronics that I love, we can talk about that too. This is the Altec. I don't know what model it is, but Bluetooth speaker that I really love. I bring that with me to work to annoy my coworkers. But yeah. If you ever get annoyed with EDC and tools, we can dip our toe into a little bit of tech. But yeah, that being said, talk to you guys next week. Alright, man, you guys have a good one.